Chapter 15 Moab will be punished. This is a message about Moab. The towns of Ar and Kir were destroyed in a night. Moab is left in ruins. Everyone in Dibon has gone up to the temple and the shrines to cry and weep. All of Moab is crying. Heads and beards are shaved because of what happened at Nebo and Medeba. In the towns and at home, everyone wears sackcloth and cries loud and long. From Heshbon and Elealeh, weeping is heard in Jahaz. Moab's warriors scream while trembling with fear. Pity Moab, I pity Moab. Its people are running to Zoar and to Eglath Shelishiah. They cry on their way up to the town of Luhith. On the road to Horonaim, they tell of disasters. The streams of Nimrim and the grasslands have dried up. Every plant is parched. The people of Moab are leaving, crossing over Willow Brook, taking everything they own and have worked for. In the towns of Eglaim and of Beeralim, and everywhere else in Moab, mournful cries are heard. The streams near Dimon are flowing with blood, but the Lord will bring even worse trouble to Dimon, because all in Moab who escape will be attacked by lions. Chapter 16 More troubles for Moab. Send lambs as gifts to the ruler of the land. Send them across the desert from Selah to Mount Zion. The women of Moab crossing the river Arnon are like a flock of birds, scattered from their nests. Moab's messengers say to the people of Judah, Be kind and help us. Shade us from the heat of the noonday sun. Hide our refugees. Don't turn them away. Let our people live in your country and find safety here. Moab, your cruel enemies will disappear. They will no longer attack and destroy your land. Then a kingdom of love will be set up, and someone from David's family will rule with fairness. He will do what is right and quickly bring justice. Moab's pride is destroyed. We have heard of Moab's pride. Its people strut and boast, but without reason. Tell everyone in Moab to mourn for their nation. Tell them to cry and weep for those fine raisins of Kir-Hareses. Vineyards near Heshbon and Sibmah have turned brown. The rulers of nations used to get drunk on wine from those vineyards that spread to Zazer, then across the desert and beyond the sea. Now I mourn like Zazer for the vineyards of Sibmah. I shed tears for Heshbon and for Elealeh. There will be no more harvest celebrations or joyful and happy times while bringing in the crops. Singing and shouting are gone from the vineyards. There are no joyful shouts where grapes were pressed. God has silenced them all. Deep in my heart I suffer for Moab and Kir-Heres. It's useless for Moab's people to wear themselves out by going to their altars to worship and pray. The Lord has already said all this about Moab. Now he says, the contract of a hired worker is good for 3 years, but Moab's glory and greatness won't last any longer than that. Only a few of its people will survive, and they will be left helpless. Chapter 17 Damascus will be punished. This is a message about Damascus. Damascus is doomed. It will end up in ruins. The villages around the Aroer will be deserted, with only sheep living there and no one to bother them. Israel will lose its fortresses. The kingdom of Damascus will be destroyed. Its survivors will suffer the same fate as Israel. The Lord all-powerful has promised this. Sin and suffering, when that time comes, the glorious nation of Israel will be brought down. To prosperous people will be skin and bones. Israel will be like wheat fields in Rephaim valley, picked clean of grain. It will be like an olive tree, beaten with a stick, leaving 2 or 3 olives, or perhaps 4 or 5 on the highest or most fruitful branches. The Lord God of Israel has promised this. At that time, the people will turn and trust their Creator, the Holy God of Israel. They have built altars and places for burning incense to their goddess Asherah, and they have set up sacred poles for her. But they will stop worshipping at these places. Israel captured powerful cities and chased out the people who lived there. But these cities will lie in ruins, covered over with weeds and undergrowth. Israel, you have forgotten the God who saves you, the one who is the mighty rock, where you find protection. You plant the finest flowers to honor a foreign God. The plants may sprout and blossom that very same morning, but it will do you no good, because you will suffer endless agony. God defends his people. The nations are a noisy, thunderous sea, but even if they roar like a fearsome flood, God will give the command to turn them back. They will be like dust or like straw, blowing across the hills in a storm. In the evening their attack is fierce, but by morning they are destroyed. This is what happens to those who raid and rob us. Chapter 18. Ethiopia will be punished. Downstream from Ethiopia lies the country of Egypt, swarming with insects. Egypt sends messengers up the river Nile on ships made of reeds. Send them fast to Ethiopia, whose people are tall and have smooth skin. Their land is divided by rivers. They are strong and brutal, feared all over the world. Everyone on this earth, listen with care. A signal will be given on the mountains, and you will hear a trumpet. The Lord said to me, I will calmly look down from my home above, as calmly as the sun at midday or a cloud in the heat of harvest season. Before the blossoms can turn into grapes, God will cut off the shoots and hack off the branches. Ethiopians will be food for mountain eagles during the summer and for wild animals during the winter. Those Ethiopians are tall and their skin is smooth. They are feared all over the world because they are strong and brutal. But at that time they will come from their land divided by rivers, and they will bring gifts to the Lord all-powerful, who is worshipped on Mount Zion. Chapter 19. Egypt will be punished. This is a message about Egypt. The Lord comes to Egypt riding swiftly on a cloud. The people are weak from fear. Their idols tremble as he approaches and says, I will punish Egypt with civil war. Neighbors, cities, and kingdoms will fight each other. Egypt will be discouraged when I confuse their plans. They will try to get advice from their idols, from the spirits of the dead, and from fortune tellers. I will put the Egyptians under the power of a cruel, heartless king. I, the Lord all-powerful, have promised this. Trouble along the Nile. The river Nile will dry up and become parched land. Its streams will stink. Egypt will have no water, and the reeds and tall grass will dry up. Fields along the Nile will be completely barren. Every plant will disappear. Those who fish in the Nile will be discouraged and mourn. None of the cloth makers will know what to do, and they will turn pale. Weavers will be confused. Paid workers will cry and mourn. Egypt's helpless leaders, the king's officials in Zoan, are foolish themselves and give stupid advice. How can they say to him, we are very wise, and our families go back to kings of long ago? Where are those wise men now? If they can, let them say what the Lord all-powerful intends for Egypt. The royal officials in Zoan and in Memphis are foolish and deceived. The leaders in every state have given bad advice to the nation. The Lord has confused Egypt. Its leaders have made it stagger and vomit like a drunkard. No one in Egypt can do a thing, no matter who they are. When the Lord all-powerful punishes Egypt with his mighty arm, the Egyptians will become terribly weak and will tremble with fear. They will be so terrified of Judah that they will be frightened by the very mention of its name. This will happen because of what the Lord all-powerful is planning against Egypt. The Lord will bless Egypt, Assyria, and Israel. The time is coming when Hebrew will be spoken in 5 Egyptian cities, and their people will become followers of the Lord. One of these cities will be called City of the Sun. In the heart of Egypt, an altar will be set up for the Lord. At its border, a shrine will be built to honor him. This will remind the Egyptians that the Lord all-powerful is with them. And when they are in trouble and ask for help, he will send someone to rescue them from their enemies. The Lord will show the Egyptians who he is, and they will know and worship the Lord. They will bring him sacrifices and offerings, and they will keep their promises to him. After the Lord has punished Egypt, the Lord will turn to him. Then he will answer their prayers, and the Egyptians will be healed. At that time, a good road will run from Egypt to Assyria. The Egyptians and the Assyrians will travel back and forth from Egypt to Assyria, and they will worship together. Israel will join with these 2 countries. They will be a blessing to everyone on earth. Then the Lord all-powerful will bless them by saying, "The Egyptians are my people. I created the Assyrians and chose the Israelites."